So I'm gonna go ahead and get that. So we can always have that one.
That's
So
not a
now
lot
that's
though,
game.
man. Like
But yeah,
that 10 hours,
dude, if
we'll
we
go
can
through that in a
start
week.
pooling our money to buy Descript and like create Descript teams, and whatever it is, whoever will come up with, this is just something to talk back with your peeps about, because it's so good. And you're using
Hmm.
it for Deepa's stuff, aren't you? She gave you some Descript access, or are you using your own thing?
No, that's correct. To listen to some of the audios that she's uploaded on there, but I still haven't figured out what Descript is in its totality. I know to
Dude,
some
it's
extent it's like
crazy. It's
you
so,
can.
oh yeah.
It must be just absolutely everything because from what I've seen, you can upload like a clip, it will transcribe,
Uh-huh.
and then it will transcribe for you, and then you can like change it around on your own.
Well, not
Um,
just change it around, right? The way you're changing it around is like you're editing an
right.
essay. And so just go in,
Yeah.
correct everything. There's fancy captions, which I think are extremely powerful tool of Descript, right? So why do you get all the transcription right? Well, that's to make your fancy captions really good. The fancy captions are super sweet. What else can you use? Audio waveforms. So dude, Deepa asked
What?
me to join her Descript account, but it's like a two-factor authentication thing, and I got the message super late, so I just bailed on on hopping on it. But I need to get added to this team now.
What is fancy captions? What's that?
So if you're on Descript, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and you press the
Oh, I'm not on it
plus
now.
button right
Oh,
next.
sorry. I'm not on
You're
it
not
now. I'm
on your
not on it
laptop?
now.
Okay.
No,
So if you
I'm not.
can
I'm on my
picture
laptop, but
in your head what you know about the Descript UI. All right, there's the player button and title at the top, right? And there's the time, play, all that kind of shit. Right below that is a plus button and a settings like wrench. The button, if you click that and scroll down, you'll see fancy captions. So this is where Descript gets amazing, but it's like simple amazing, because you can do all this Descript shit except for the transcription editing on what is it, like Final Cut Pro or all those other video editing things, but the UI is so unuser friendly, like beginner friendly. Descript is just insane. I'm gonna be using the shit out of it.
so I'm just asking Deepa a
Yeah,
question now,
yeah.
actually, in the Discord, because what she sent me is a link to one of the interviews, but it's just the audio of the interview.
Okay.
I'm
Can
not
you
signed
download it
in,
from there, or were you able to download it from there?
but so I have access to the audio. The link gets me to the audio. I can listen to the audio, but I'm just wondering and I've been like transcribing it off Descript just in my Apple Notes of like what it is, you know. So I've
Mm-hmm.
been writing all this out, and I wonder if that's what she meant, or if she meant that I would be signed into Descript, the audio would open, it would play, and Descript would transcribe it for me, and then I just like fix it
So
up and all the rest.
you need to be at your computer and create a Descript account. It doesn't cost money, right? You can edit stuff for free, even just with a free account, a limited, number of hours, but that's fine for one Deepa podcast. Then I'm pretty sure she can just add your Descript account to her team, and then you'll get more transcribing hours. So you were viewing her podcast thing on Descript as a guest with no account. That's what you were just describing to me. So if
Sounds like
you
it. Yeah.
log in and create one, you'll still be able to have that link and open it now in your probably downloaded Descript app. That will give you all of the powerful tools I was just explaining
Interesting.
for
So it's up here in
free.
the top.
Free.
So yeah, it says up here, get Descript for
There you
free, and then there's a sign in option or
Yeah.
get Descript for free.
Exactly.
So maybe right. So hold on. So I said get Descript for free. Go to that, sign up, get an account for free. Then go back to her link, click on the link,
Click on the
and it
link. It'll
will
open it in
read.
your account now
Yeah,
on the Descript app.
right.
Boom.
And so when that happens, then it'll bring up the audio as I'm looking at it now. But when
And
I
it'll be
play the audio,
transcribed, and you won't be literally from scratch transcribing everything, right? You'll just be editing the mistakes the AI made.
oh my god, right? Oh my god, right? That's gonna save
And
me
dude,
so much
think
time.
about your podcast and think about all those the visual clips you're making. It's automatically transcribed, right? Perfect. That just saved you how many hours off the bat?
But hold on. But wait. I mean, I'm not seeing the value that it is for us. I can see it for this project of Deepa's because she then wants to write an article of everything that's being said. But we're not doing that for our pod. We have
No.
no.
You're not going to hear me. So
I'm not getting it. Yeah.
The
Yeah,
exact clips you've been making, right? So I'm referencing completely what you're already doing. So those TikToks where you have the images and you have, do you even have captions, or are they just auto-generated captions?
What, the subtitles? We do them manually.
Okay, you manually put them in.
Website.
And how fucking long does that take?
But 15 minutes.
No, I mean, all right. But that's you writing it all in there. You're lining up the words at the right parts, right? All that shit, right?
Yeah.
Descript exponentially makes that process more efficient.
So it creates subtitles in the actual clip for you.
And it, as you're making, so you put the image on the Descript deal, and you basically drag the image duration for as long as you want to be. It's so much easier than whatever current editor you're using. If you learn, if it's not hard to learn, it's just like more intuitive. Like I'm not learning this, I'm just using it more and taking advantage of it. It's way crazier than CapCut.
But it's okay, right? But you get that as part of the get Descript for free.
Oh yeah, you should be able to do and prove the value to your friends by using what you can for free.
So basically what you're saying, like what we do for the clips, for the podcast app specifically, I don't see what else can be Descript can
so what
offer
I would do
that.
for a full podcast episode is you post it on your YouTube, right? Now there's no one who's showing their camera, right? So why are they going to watch a video of you guys? Okay. Static image in the background. Okay, but it's not just a static image. This is my original idea. You have everyone's different logo, okay? For whatever character they want to have on the podcast image, right? And then with Descript, bro, you can create a little circle audio waveform. So the listener is reading the subtitles as they're listening if they're taking advantage of YouTube, and they're getting this cool audio waveform that shows who's speaking, and then the audio circle jumps around when the speaker changes.
Okay, so if there's 3 or 4 of us, and there's a split into boxes,
kind of like the Discord thing, like glows green, right, when someone's talking. Yeah.
Okay.
But this would just be a video type deal.
Right. Okay. And so the subtitles will change depending on who's speaking.
Not subtitles. I mean, subtitles are subtitles. That's just going to roll across the screen as they are, right? But the audio won't be going because not everyone, and sometimes people will be talking over each other, right? So those two people's audio things will be dancing around, right? That's kind of how you can visualize it.
Okay, no, I see what you mean.
It's like the DJ effect type deal.
That's really interesting. so that's really valuable as well. Because right now
Exactly.
our apps on YouTube are just like
It's,
audio with
yeah, you just
an
turn your
image in the
phone off
background.
most likely and just listen to them. Or
Yeah,
if you don't
yeah,
pay for YouTube, then you have to leave your screen on.
yeah, 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 yeah. Okay, fuck, that's interesting.
And then
Okay,
you can
right.
flash some images like you do with TikTok. Maybe you make some of the TikTok clips and then you re-edit I don't know. Whatever.
What do you mean? Say that again.
So you have the image clips that you use to try to visualize your podcast, and that's how you've been
Right.
clipping.
Yeah.
If you could feature those images on the YouTube channel thing, but it's obviously long form, so maybe you're not wanting to fish around for stock footage and stock images for everything everyone's talking about, because that's a lot of editing effort for
Oh
an
God, yeah.
hour and a half podcast, right?
Couldn't do that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no. So maybe
yeah.
instead for those 60-second, 3-minute clips, they flash on the screen during the YouTube video.
Oh, okay. So like, say it's a 60-minute app.
Mm-hmm.
We've clipped
Uh-huh.
five moments in that 60
Uh-huh.
minutes, and each clip is 60 seconds. So the clip moments total 5 minutes. So you're saying when people are watching the 60-minute app on YouTube,
Mm-hmm.
for those 60-second moments that what we've taken out of the app,
You can
it could be at the
feature some of
beginning, the
the
middle.
images inside what I was
Right.
describing. Your static podcast image, right? Because it's
But it's going to be
basically like your
static.
virtual podcasting is what the look and feel will be to it.
So I'm correct in saying like it could be like just the static image for 10 minutes, and then the 60-second
Yep.
clippable moment will flash the interesting image, and then back to static, and then later on again.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So that's good. That's better than just a static image, obviously. Okay.
And better than a
And yeah,
static image is the audio waveform that I was talking about, right? And the subtitles featured on that too. Like some podcasts will just straight up post a picture and the audio and nothing else. Like no subtitles, it's just the auto generated captions, right? That's the lowest effort. What I'm trying to say is with Descript, you can do for very low effort, pretty high quality looking stuff that not a lot of other podcasters are quite doing themselves.
interesting. I wonder if Deepa uses this, because I haven't looked on YouTube for her
So
podcast
I'll
yet.
bet anything because she uses Restream, right? And she features her face a lot of the time. She is most likely using Descript and featuring people's face on camera, and then there's subtitles underneath them.
I see. Okay.
That's probably how her
Yeah.
podcast eps are gonna go.
I want to have a look at that just to visualize what it
Kind of
looks
like
like. I
how
wonder
Green Pill. I bet their episodes are just like that. Let me look it up.
so have you seen Green Pill? Like, that's video, right? Do they do their episodes on video as well? I've just listened through iTunes or Spotify, like literally.
Yeah, like Bankless, that show. You know how they make their TikToks and they've got their face cams, very low effort, and they're just using Restream, bro. Restream and
What's
probably
Restream?
Descript. I'll bet anything. Maybe they're making more money and they have more people hired, but I guarantee in the beginning.
Hello.
Hello, can you hear me?
Your sound is went all wonky, dude. It's
Am
like,
I good now? Oh,
oh no,
is it the connection? Is it my volume? What is it?
I don't know what's causing it. All I know, my connection's perfect, and it's back to normal now. But for a moment there, it was like sort of like interference or something. I'm not sure.
Weird.
Yeah, sorry, but go on ahead. What's Restream?
Restream is kind of like Zoom, right? But it's recording or live streaming, and the live streaming aspect is not super powerful, like what I said with OBS. But it's multi-streaming. So you can be on Twitter, on YouTube, on Twitch, on all those different Web3 ones. They're integrated with a lot of those live streaming things too. So for very little effort and for very little customization, right, without paying, I think, buku bucks, you can stream multi-platform wise, or you can record multi-camera, and it's also an advantage because they're all separate. Anyway, yeah, there's technical stuff to that. But if you guys for your podcast, everyone had a webcam, it would level it up, right? So everyone showing their face, and that's just because humans like faces. This is a biased opinion of mine and of my statistical analysis of the successful content creators, right? There are anomalies. There are no face people and that kind of deal, right? It works. I was for the majority of the successes out there, right? Restream really helps with that.
Yeah, no, I don't think anyone would disagree with that, and it's pretty obvious. I've just typed in green pill to YouTube. I actually have seen this before in video, just didn't remember. But yeah, I see what you mean, like multi-stream and multi-screen. Okay, awesome. Yeah, I spoke to a girl today who might be coming on board the team, who's like in the journalist sphere or wants to go down that route. She's studying it and whatever, and she's really cool, really bubbly and all that, and really
Is
curious.
That all the scam stuff with the Telegram group type thing?
Oh, shit.
Oh, sorry.
That out.
Good thing nothing's here.
Do
you have? Oh, yeah, you do have this Twitter Space on recording.
Yeah. Do it? What do you mean I do?
Yeah. You have this space recording. I don't.
Well, what does that mean?
It'll just post after this. So if people, what is this now, like 30 minutes in, if they listen to the whole thing on your profile, they might find that thing.
Oh, I didn't know that. People can go.
We're talking about crypto scams. We have no idea what you're referring to. You're the one insinuating things that we know in the back of our minds, but the listener cannot possibly comprehend.
Unless someone who, is from that specific group, but I don't think that's all.
There's lots of Telegram groups.
Yeah.
There's an infinite number. I've invited you to a couple. I could be referring to lots of those.
You have.
Remember that time I rugged a chain leftist art piece from the whole community? Just kidding. Although we are super stagnant on that part, and I really need to. If for the person who has no stock or no ether in the freaking DAO, I'm the one putting in like the most work and like the most ambition.
Are we on record now?
Yeah, we're recording. We've been recording.
Oh, have we? It was all sorted? Okay. Right, okay. I'm not quite sure when we started, but it's all good. It doesn't matter. As long as we're tuned in. So we bounce on, because I am conscious of like the time I have. I have so much to do for this deeper project. A little less now that you told me that it's all going to be transcribed and I have to write it all out. But
yeah, dude, I got you.
The rest of it that I have to do regardless of that is like I'm going to be up all night anyway doing it. So yeah, should we talk about we've been talking a bit about crypto scams, and I guess
I've
there's
those
no one
pulled
listening,
up.
but
Oh, dude, the CNN one I was reading, I was like, classic.
So yeah, let's get on to that. Let's
start with that one.
Yeah, well, I was just gonna introduce there's no one listening, so maybe we can get a few clippable moments about what we're gonna talk about with crypto scams. But I didn't want to go into a specific case study. I just kind of wanted to introduce that we'll be doing an episode on this, or maybe even a series of episodes on this, because folks find it juicy and it's a gateway into anti-capitalism or post-capitalism. Because I think
we're more post-capitalist with our crypto thinking.
For sure, we actually have a system beyond, and we're not just anti-capitalism. For me, it's just capitalism is bad.
Yeah,
so post-capitalism is.
But you still go to the grocery store. You still have a Chase bank account. You still have a 401k. You still have a W-2, W-4. All that stuff. But capitalism bad. You're right.
Right, exactly. And you've no alternative solution that you're pursuing. It's limited in that way. But yeah, that the theory around doing those kind of episodes would be to like pull a lot of people in because that's what's interesting to listen to, and then hit them with the capitalism brings us about. Like, we need to think of a new system. Here's like, it's not just Ponzi's. It's just integral to capitalism, and all that kind of not leave them with that message, but integrate that throughout. So we wouldn't just be doing like episodes on here's a interesting Ponzi. Like we're not a
No, we're not.
financial
Yeah,
crowd.
that just sounds
Yeah,
like
we're not.
all the various anti-crypto channels, you know?
Exactly. And CoffeeZilla does that
It
really
sounds
well.
like
So we're
an
not
anti-crypto crypto club of some sort, shitting on the entire crypto community. Who would do that?
shitting. Yeah, exactly. I don't know.
I don't
We just
know.
fucking- But what was I gonna say? But yeah, so I guess like we have to look into what some interesting scams are. You've watched CoffeeZilla. I've seen a little bit of what he does, but you said you've been watching him for a touch, haven't you?
Yeah, so I'll do a quick, since I'm not super deep on the ins and outs of that, but I watched the CoffeeZilla videos. So he
Right.
covered a lot of Twitch streamers were coming out with scam coins, namely Trainwrecks TV came out with one that rugged, and it was all with the
Yeah.
illusion that they were going to give these proceeds and these funds, one, to the community, so by providing utility and value as they believe these giant content creators can provide and produce for it, right? They thought we would get some value, and they had the impression that these charitable causes would also be involved, and none of that came to fruition. Nothing. It was all completely moving money from their community's accounts and pockets into their account and pockets. So they, for very little effort, and everyone was trying to inform and tell people that they were scams, because as prevalent and prolific as crypto scams are, so are their critics. So are the people that are very critically, because this is blockchain tech, right? Most of this stuff is open source and readable smart contracts on Ethereum. So it's kind of embarrassing, but it shows the infantile stage we are in figuring out what the crypto economy will be in the future. So that's kind of how I look at it. It's people not doing their own research, because all of this was plainly evident from the beginning, because they could have arranged the smart contracts in such a way that it was trustless and permissionless for these streamers to raise the money, and it absolutely, with determined certainty, right, would be able to fund these charitable, impactful causes. But nope. People just wanted to idol worship, and they went with their peers and believed the Mr. Streamer, and they're still popular to this day.
Dude, that's just as you're saying this, like lots of questions are coming into my mind that are adjacent to even doing like episodes on revealing the story of a crypto scam. And it's like, the sort of things that you've said have made me think, like, to what extent in some cases is it do your own research and people's fault, and other cases, like literally as you said there, it's all on the project. Nobody could ever have foreseen it and all the rest of it. Then what's the psychology that leads people to believe in it or ignore it or not do their own research or should have known better but didn't? It's just so fascinating. You could do a whole episode on just what leads to these kind of scams. And
CoffeeZilla has done more than just one episode, bro. There's a lot. Yep.
What specifically on just the human psychology on what leads to these scams? Like what?
Yeah, he loves diving into the discords, right? And that could be something we do where we're kind of psychoanalyzing this community in real time as we're trying to inform them, hey, so this smart contract or this project that claims to do this thing. Well, they could do it using these tools or using this contract we've wrote for them, and we've told them this, whatever, right? Because we want to be helpful to most people to succeed in Web3. But if they refuse to do those things, then we can absolutely call them out without ridicule, right? Without mercy, to tell them this is a scam. They're absolutely have every intention to not do what they're purporting to. And then there's the other aspect of just lofty promises. So I think you can sustain yourself a scam like that on just, we'll deliver in the future this way. And those are going to take a lot longer to tease out the scamminess of them, because it could always be true that they're working really hard in the background behind the scenes that we're just not to our knowledge, right? That's the thing with a lot of these. It's a lot of spectacle and speculation, and they make huge promises though. Yep.
That reminds me of a certain something that's going on now that we're involved in.
That is totally nondescript
that's the Telegram group that you invited me in Texas. You know that one we're talking about? In
Texas, exactly. The Tiger Coin one.
The Tiger Coin, where it's like, you buy this tag.
It's one token for every tiger in Texas.
Yeah, you'll get a whole pile of Cubs coins.
A whole bunch of Cub coins.
God. But no, you're breaking up a little bit, dude, as well. But it's all good. You're kind of dropping in, dropping out, but it's all right. Yeah, but like I think like, because when we were setting up this podcast, like I was like, talking to people on the road, like because I've been traveling, and they're like, a lot of people who are like crypto curious or noobs or whatever are like, oh yeah, you should do, and even people in the crypto leftist group, when I was talking to them about this idea, they were like, if for your first opening episodes or whatever, you might want to do like crypto scams, you might want to go myths, juicy stuff that people in. And I think like even doing an episode where we just sort of talk about what's the psychology, how do people fall into these traps, how to avoid it. It's an education for people. So, because a lot of like the worry that people have with crypto is like, oh shit, sounds complicated. Am I going to get scammed? Better stay away. Mm-hmm. So if you can educate them on that and make them feel a little bit more comfortable, and that's a good thing also, so we're not just doing these crypto scam episodes for the sake of it.
Oh yeah, I think it should be a recurring topic until the crypto space is not inundated with so many scams, until it's not its own recurring topic, right? We should be fighting against that, right? I think a great idea is everyone collaborating on a YouTube playlist, right? So we could put a whole bunch of CoffeeZilla videos on there. I mentioned Spencer Cornelia has covered some of them. There's Crypto Critic. I've seen him on TikTok, but collecting a bunch of those videos, right? So our listeners can see content that's already made out there, but then we should react to it on stream or on Twitter Space, whatever, and give kind of
open to I'm open to any and all of those ideas. Like whether we do a Twitter Spaces, the two or three things that you mentioned, or even dedicate a full episode to it every once a month on your or my platform, whatever, or like, you know what I mean? But I think you're right. Like until these crypto scams become little of a thing or nothing of a thing, like, it's at
least a minority of the economy, right? Yeah. It does not feel like a minority of crypto is not scams, right? It feels.
Oh, sure.
And then the parts that aren't scam are like a lot of speculation right now, right? Ethereum is a lot of speculation, but they've thankfully, right, have delivered. Yeah. And I think they've proven, right, how transparency and honesty and crowd working and crowdsourcing, all of this can pan out in the end. If you can prove consistency, right, you can kind of get a lot of trust. So yeah, I feel you can earn some speculation, some speculative value, because you know what Ethereum promises they can deliver on now. They promise proof of stake, and people have been doubting it for so long. They've doubted layer 2s for so long, but I would say 2022 has been that year where maybe they've proven a lot of the speculators wrong. I think a lot of the anyway, that's a defense of a very legitimate coin. You got Gitcoin, but dude, the scams, man.
I think
so many coins die.
There. I think you've made a good distinction there, though. Like, but I think like maybe I'm wrong with this, but I think like the speculative side, the people who are winning and losing more so on that are the traders, all the big guys. When it comes to the scams, as you said earlier, it's the little guys who are like, you know what I mean? Like, you know, like folks more like us who are like, you know, not big time players, who are just like, you know, because that's like, they prey on the vulnerable, don't they? These capitalists or these scammers or whatever.
Absolutely.
You want to say.
Like, it is a plutocratic fundraising system, right? And technocratic with how you obtain any sort of non-monetary exchange for it, right? And that it would be so cool if there was some like shitty coin that you didn't have to participate in exploitative and monetary means of obtaining crypto. That would be cool, wouldn't it? That wouldn't feel scammy, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. 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 I mean, all these solutions, all these problems, you know, like, but shall we move on to the next topic? Like,
well, let's check in on Naomi. How's she doing? How do you feel about crypto scams? Have you seen any good crypto scam YouTube channels that we could take a look at, react to? Are you interested in that kind of content? There was, I know with kind of more the refi sphere impact, a lot of these influencer crypto scams were, there was the Save the Kids, and that's what I was talking to you about earlier, Alex. And gosh, just a whole group, 5 YouTubers, Rice Gum being one of the bigger ones. And then who the heck? FaZe Clan, FaZe Jarvis, FaZe K. Oh gosh. Yeah. All just, you know, Logan Paul, Jake Paul, loving their NFT rug pills.
Oh yeah.
Those would be so fun to cover and really shit on and see where they are now. Like what happened to them. Cause it's been a year or almost a year now, but I think let's see if we can find any ongoing ones, but it's a little bit of a bear market right now.
I like that angle as well. Instead of like this sort of one coin thing where like the central protagonist would be the central part of the episode and what she's done and all the rest of it. I think like focusing on something like Logan Paul or these massive influencers who so many people look to, oh, you know, I watched Logan Paul and I hear he's into NFTs.
Yep.
And, you know, if you were to say, this guy got it wrong, look what damage he done, he's lost so much money, like, think for yourself.
For all that one coin was, right, and I'm sure, $4 billion worldwide, right, they weren't as influential or as big of a marketing thing as all these influencers were. Right? Like if you look at the number of views and the number of people touched by one coin, and then transversely the how many people heard about the Paul brothers NFTs, right? That kind of put crypto and their name back into the trending sphere, right? Into mainstream. And it was all scams. It was all scams.
And yeah, so maybe that, like, I'm thinking again of the hot take clippable moments, you know, if you blast Logan Paul and his red tweet out, scam, people watch this scammer, people will be like, ooh, click, click, click. You know,
let's go through all the dead links on Twitch and go like, I wonder how this NFT community panned out. Oh no, everything. Oh, how'd that IPFS? Oh, it's gone. All the NFTs are deleted. No way.
Yeah.
There's
And
nobody
it's not
on
about-
this Discord. No.
And like, I suppose for anyone like maybe listening to this, we're not like shitting on the people who fell into
Victim.
Logan Paul's influence.
Fell victim.
Yeah. Fell victim into his influence and followed along and bought NFTs or whatever. Like people who like, you know, were victims of that. We're shitting on influencers who just want to make a quick buck and don't care about. Like another one is Safe Moon. There's some people who
Safe
like,
Moon.
celebrities
Yep. Coffeezilla had a
Another-
bunch of Safe Moon episodes.
I think I've seen some of those ones, or at least one. So that's super interesting, you know. So
There was
Yeah,
so
much
much. I
to
watched
talk
so
about,
much of that Safe Moon drama. Oh, I think it's what was
Okay.
pushing me further into leftism.
I mean, look at the name of it, Safe Moon.
Safe Moon,
you
bro.
should just
Dude.
be like, nah, Safe Moon. Come on,
Come
is this
on,
irony?
guys.
Okay, what's
Right.
yeah.
And literally, it was so obvious when they were like minting and you know, centrally controlling so much of the token. It's like, dude, guys, come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
Come
And
on.
the
Yeah.
founder
Yeah.
always had a convenient excuse, and he would write a post on Discord and people would rush to his defense on Twitter. Oh, dude.
Crikey. Okay, dude. Let's shift on to the next topic because I'm like we're into the first hour already. We need to crack on. So yeah, let's talk about CNN and NFTs. What did you think about this one?
Dude.
Kind of broke news this week, and everyone was like, CNN.
That was this
scammers
week?
again.
Dang.
I think it was
October 11th. That's when this posted. Sheesh. Promising.
Yeah.
Dude, wow, way to jump on the trend like a year and a half late,
Yeah.
CNN. Like that's what this story reads like to me. It's, you know, it's the classic, oh, yeah, promise all these really big hyperbolic things and not deliver on any of it and quietly walk away. That seems to be totally tolerable within our space and sphere, and we need to start figuring out what are the repercussions that crypto can implement to those kind of projects.
As my understanding of this is that they jumped in on this on the bandwagon during
the bull. Yep.
During the bull, and they were like, "Oh yeah, we'll sell moments of history, the archived footage for $500 a piece," and I think
which they could have done, right? Like literally, all you had to do was take the clips you were already putting on YouTube, right, and then say, "Here it is for sale on OpenSea." Boom, like literally just that little of utility. And then say, oh, you know, maybe for token holders, you can come to a private screening of episodes, right? Like, there's so many ways to provide value, and they seriously walked away from it. Just like, nah.
Well, I mean, yeah, I think that basically was it. Like, I mean, the details might be different there, and like, I think they had their own forum to sell the NFT. I don't know exactly the ins and outs, but the point here is that they thought it would be like a money maker in the bull market, and then bear market hit, and they've not only like stopped it, so that's like a rug pull almost, but they're not giving people their money back.
20%, it says here at the bottom.
20%. Yeah,
we'll see what they determine is 20%, and how many people really get 20%. We'll see it on chain.
Sure it'll be the upper middle class or the executives.
Exactly. Their friends and family that they don't want to ruin the relationships with. Hey, CNN, help me out. They're not my friend anymore. I told them about crypto and now they hate me.
I bought this like CNN NFT and went over like.
I thought it was a sure thing, dude. CNN.
I had my glass of champagne and avocado toast, and I bought this like, and now they have my rug pulled me, but I'll be getting it back. My husband works at CNN.
Watch Fox News be able to successfully do their launch, though. Bro, Fox News and Kanye collab for an NFT release. New white supremacy memes released, totally on chain. You can't censor it.
God.
The mainstream media.
Well, here's the thing. Like,
Just
that's a good
mint
point.
White Lives Matter on a fucking chain. And have Tucker Carlson sign it, please.
Does that make you think, though, that how to question this? Like, I don't actually know if Fox News did their own NFT thing, so can't say either way.
Oh no,
but
I'm saying if they
didn't-
did, watch them beat
no.
CNN.
Yeah, no. But my question is, like, my question here is, what does it say to you about the media landscape that CNN did this and the likes of Fox didn't? Because in our minds, Fox News should be the more we can make a bit of money out of it, you know? Like, this kind of crack. So
yeah,
what's that about that they didn't do that? And CNN are like,
so
you know,
I would say it's more of conservative ignorance and technological incapability. So they looked at that kind of experiment and said, no, that's not viable. We're barely getting our viewers onto our own personal app, right? We're barely getting them to follow us on Parler. I think they are more putting their chips into alternative alt social media, right? Alt-right social media that loves popping up all over the place now as quickly as they get shut down, right? Because what was that one social media company that got taken down because of Amazon Web Services? Was it Parler?
Parler.
They got taken down, and then did they
talked about that before?
Did they go back up? Okay, they went back up on alternative web servers or something.
Okay.
No,
right.
I don't. We need to.
Yeah.
That's something we need to check up on because that's Amazon scam right there.
I think we did talk about that in the blockchain and freedom app on.
Yeah, that's true.
We were like whatever media we like or don't like if corporations are saying no, yes, no, that's not
where we want that decision making happening. Nope. Jeff Bezos is not the one. Whether I agree with the decisions he's making, right? I don't want Jeff Bezos being the ultimate maker, right? Decider.
Exactly. And that leads us on to maybe like an adjacent topic here, which we can blend in, which we have in today, the PayPal and censorship thing.
Dude.
Damn, dude.
I think they retracted all that though.
Well, maybe and likely and sure, but
or maybe they leaked what was coming further down the line. That's what I immediately thought. I was like, wait. If it accidentally got published, that means someone wrote it. Like, or was it a troll, right? Like, what are we saying here, PayPal? You guys just were toying around with the idea? It was just one of your concepts up on the board?
Yeah.
Like, that's still a little bit concerning.
If I can remember back to the article, I think when they were asked about how this happened or whatever, it was like one of the, something like that doesn't reflect in current internal policy or something. You're like,
did they just dodge it and leave the rule up though, potentially?
I think the way I read it was just like, that's not an accurate description of our current policy making agenda or something. And just like, it was almost like they were like passing the buck that, it was skewed or something, or it's not a full accurate description of our policy or something like that there. And, it was a bit of a cop out, like, and it's like, if even though that idea, even if it's worded not correctly or something like this,
if it was floating around there,
floating around, yeah, exactly. Like, you're, chucking the baby, or chucking the bathwater, just leaves the baby here, like, it's like, no.
That's a really close step to the favorite 4chan conspiracy about the Rothschilds RFID chips, where he has this interview, this phone call that gets leaked, where he basically floats the idea out there that we can shut down your bank account if you attend a protest, right? If you're within a vicinity, right, that would be the idea. So people love to fearmonger on that. But no, this is that kind of censorship. It's not a geographic locality, right, where you're protesting. It's an ideological locality. We're saying this is misinformation by our interpretation due to
Yes.
our ideology, and they're not willing to recognize they have an ideology. They ostensibly pretend to be apolitical and neutral, and it's like, no, no, you're not.
Yeah.
Don't pretend like that. Nuh-uh. That's not true. It's not rational.
But let me ask you this, like, because this is like, I mean, I just want to know, like, because how much of an escalation this is from what we've already seen and what we've already talked about on Blockchain Solidarity, like, and I'm sure you have in your own spaces as well, where we've seen, you know, the word misinformation really used everywhere as an ideological like agenda, really for
the evolution
capitalist
of terrorism.
So what's next? I mean, how much have we seen this before where like companies will say, we're taking your money, like taking your money, like not even.
So
not even
leftists have been dealing with that for decades, right? You had the FBI and the Red Scare where they had it in writing and in corporate policy. If you were found out to be a communist, right? Instantly, same things we're experiencing today. Black Panther Party, MLK, tons of those people already experienced, right? But within a different technological context, right? The intelligence apparatuses were much, more constrained by the tools they don't have yet. And now what are we seeing? We've been affecting our will. So we affected our will inside the country. And then what did we immediately start doing, or what were we doing simultaneously? We were world policing. And now we've come full circle and we've come back to the homeland. And I think, terrorism was something abroad and it was a brown person who doesn't believe or have the same religion as you. That's who we're going to commit war against. Now it's saying this neighbor of yours is lying to you. They are part of a conspiracy, and you need Big Daddy government to give a gentle little nudge to him to get him in the right direction, to set him straight. That's what I see as the prevailing ideology on the right and the Democrat left. So obviously not us leftists, right? But I still look at the Democrats as freaking capitalist right-wingers. But for people who don't think that way, the Democrat left, the woke liberal progressive liberal ideology, where we just need a nicer capitalism. If our bosses
Rainbow
could just be a lot nicer, if the boot could just be a heel on my face, I would appreciate it so much more.
So let me just, like, for anyone like listening to this back or in a clippable moment, to round up what you said, because this is important. Like, so your point there was like leftists have been targeted by the state in the past, financially and otherwise, but it's come through the direct arm of the state. And let me just get this out, and then you can clarify me after. The FBI, whoever it is, going, Black Panthers, done. We're taking your money or cancelling you in some way. But now this is, in the modern context, this is like corporate acting, the state or capitalism acting through corporations who are cancelling you and taking your money. But also, like, the difference that I see is, from what you said, and I could be wrong, and here's what you'll clarify, was it leftist groups before? So you actively tied to leftist groups, where now it's like anyone and everyone, whoever, like, says an opinion that's disinformation or misinformation, could be an average Joe who's not connected to any group or blah, blah, blah. He spits an opinion. PayPal don't like it. PayPal gonna take 2500 of your dollars straight out of your PayPal account. I mean, so that's a massive escalation to the masses, and that could be like, I mean, imagine they started doing that to anyone and everyone. Like, you don't even have to be connected to a group. It's just arbitrary, bang, bang.
It's very Orwellian. It's very Huxley like. Well, I think Huxley would try to distract the masses away from that kind of thinking. Orwell does say, no, you're going to feel the strong arm of the state. So I think since Bernie, we've had such an awakened consciousness in America. I was just listening to Vosh and Hakeem on a stream, and I totally agree that he was able to, in a very influential manner, popularize and normalize socialist speech. Because prior to that, you couldn't mention the word socialism, and that's what started to deprogram me from. Anyway, yes.
But who are you talking about here? You're
I'm talking
Bernie
about
can do that,
the oh man. So why the average Joe? Why I think the heat is being turned up, because I juxtaposed Huxley's dystopia would be we're distracted with pleasure, and that has been the modality for many decades. And now we're starting to feel an Orwellian, strong, authoritarian arm of the state creeping behind us. There are groups and there are very specific areas that feel it most, but you can see it creeping closer where they and the profit motive is there, right? So being able to come after average Joes and expand basically their product market base of who to criminalize is absolutely within the motive, the main objective of late stage capitalists, and as we transition, techno feudals.
So let me ask you this. I agree, and I'll just say pretext this for my question. I agree that for so long, capitalism has acted in a way where it can be like, it's a distraction of the consumer, like away from like the issues of the day.
Here's this entertainment,
watch this movie,
here's this food and drug, whatever.
Buy this product, watch this movie, and like that whole like society of the spectacle stuff. But now have they realized, capitalism acting through the state, all the rest of it, that things have gotten too bad. We can't really distract the consumer anymore.
This wasn't as sustainable as we thought it was.
So they've transitioned. Have they transitioned from distraction and consumerism? Still there, but they've said, "Oh shit, we actually need to just slam them with the hard fist of the state and smash them down."
We need highly efficient and effective technocratic means of enacting our will and authority. Yeah.
That's scary. So just around that, I mean, if that is the case, that's the trajectory of late stage capitalism. That's the trajectory when things get so bad, maybe the masses do start to like not get distracted and go, "Hey, what's up?" And then that, in theory, would make sense that the state and capitalism goes, "Oh shit, they're not distracted anymore." We
and they have a doomerism.
Pound them on the head. We got to pound them on the head for pound them on the head. And how we do this is if they even say anything online that we don't like, it's like whack-a-mole, bang down, bang down. So if that is the case,
we tried to distract you, but you didn't take the distraction. So now we need to forcibly turn you around and not let you see what we don't want you seeing, not let you meet up with those you need to meet up with and have conversations with. Yeah, no, they want feudalistic like control and using technocratic means of doing so. They're not. Late stage capitalism is realizing that, oh no, capital is not the most motivating factor in people's lives. And oh no, there's these other crypto economies that potentially, right, give the prospect of insurrection via these anarchic means, right? They can just subvert our economy by just laterally, horizontally immigrating across to a new one, right? So we need to pull the trigger now and create the walled gardens, create our castles, and we need our lords that can enforce what our will and decrees are. And they're looking at blockchain, most likely. They're going to be looking at more technology to affect those means, and that'll just create more. The reality is all those dudes making those plans to make themselves more powerful will just end up getting supplanted by someone more powerful. They will create the means of their own end. There's only one winner in a zero-sum game, and it's most likely not going to be you. Those are the odds.
So let me ask, because so right now you said like the means by which they're doing this is like technocracy, right? Okay,
right.
But I agree, but if I'm following this trajectory that we just talked about there, like I can see it getting less, not necessarily less technocratic. Technocratic could continue, but if the masses start to like disobey the line that the state capitalists want, could they bring down the actual hard hammer in a non-technocratic, so lifting people out of their homes, bundled into white vans, a la 1984, kind of like stormtroopers? Who the hell knows? I don't want to rule out either, because if the whole thing is like the masses are wakening up or not being distracted anymore, and they don't just shut up and give the opinion that the state and capital wants, then if technocracy does work, they maybe don't need the stormtroopers. But if it doesn't work and people are like, right, you're trying to take my money and shut me up, maybe that doesn't work, and people still trying to give their opinion, that's maybe when you see the hard fist coming out and the stormtroopers. I don't know. I like if they,
and it's not even a hard fist right now, right? $2,500 fine is actually a very gentle fist. You could have had an Australian situation, right, where if you post some anti-COVID stuff on Facebook, you get a visit from the police and you get a 24-hour visitation to the prison and breakfast service. Like that is a hard fist. PayPal doing this is just more ways that they're creatively trying to, but it's very coercive, right? But they've gone away from the distractive to the very violently, aggressively coercive.
But just so if anyone's listening, like who might pick up on what you said and think, but hold on, $2,500 to what percentage of the American people can't afford to like get through the next week?
So when you can't afford the $2,500, you got to spend 12 hours in prison, right? Another way to screw over poor people. Yeah, that's probably how it'll pan out. So if you're poor and you have a misinformation opinion, you're going to spend a night in jail because you don't have enough money.
Right, or if you have that $2,500, they'll take it from you. They'll take every last penny of it, or they'll say you'll pay it over 6 months at a 25 interest charge, or take out this loan and we'll charge you $5,000.
You can't declare bankruptcy and avoid this. It's just like a student loan. I totally. So that would be a good blockchain thing, is all of your citizens have an identity and you just keep track of all the fines from all the different platforms they're racking up.
And if it's CBDCs, what if you don't pay your fine for misinformation? Then you're not allowed to spend your CBDCs on this type of food until you paid off your debt.
And the interest.
So here's what is this what it comes down to then? This whole PayPal and censorship thing is a class issue. It won't be the upper middle class who have typically they won't have a disinformation view anyway because they're so indoctrinated. But
true,
and
we've seen lots of rich people go to the January 6th insurrection stuff, so those guys would get hit. I mean, they were flying there in private jets. Some of these conservatives, it was hilarious. QAnon conservatives.
Exactly. So but they're always going to have the means of either
paying
political,
$2,500 or getting out of it.
Getting out, exactly. If they pay up front easy, they can get away with $200.
Or their buddy on the committee is able to scratch it off like it never happened. Yep, absolutely.
So censorship, Oh, you still there?
Yeah, you kind of cut out. You said corporation and then cut out.
Oh, sorry. Because I thought my screen changed. I thought I didn't put it out. Yeah, so basically, like, this is just another this is censorship. Really, is just class war in another form.
Mm-hmm.
Who disagrees with that?
Yeah, no, I know. And
No.
what I was describing with, they used to distract, that's how. So if the proletarian class is submissive, if they're subservient and obedient and not experimenting with alternative economic systems, then you just get all the fun entertaining consumerism.
Yeah,
But if
yeah.
you're gonna start exploring ways of doing stuff without our input, our elite expertise and knowledge and respect for our authority and property, yeah, no,
Mm,
that's scaring the
mm.
shit out of them, and so they're dialing up the heat, man. That's
So
they've got some
let's
good technology at their disposal to make it happen. And if people are complacent and complicit and not civilly disobedient enough, they
yeah,
are gonna live very vanilla, unfree lives. That's the
and
reality.
and we everyone who this could affect in amongst the working class, whether you agree with this opinion, that opinion, like, solidarity here, because what we're saying, this is a class issue. Like, we nobody should be like demonetized or have to pay this fee or fine or whatever it is for the reasons we've just set out. If you just share a view that the corporations don't like, well, there needs to be solidarity to fight back against this. So anyone who's saying,
Yeah.
yeah, but that view did suck. So,
Yeah, it doesn't help us
nah, nah.
because our view is going to be the next one that sucks.
Exactly. Yeah, well, I just had another idea there. Like, maybe me and you should, in some way, like, do little audios of this Texan accent of, like, I don't know, we can impersonate George W. Bush as a Texas governor and be like, the whole, when I don't do the CBDC thing, when we get the CBDCs up, if you don't say what we like, you won't be able to buy your cabbages. If we put that in
When
an
you
audio and
come
clip that, dude, that
when
would go
you come
viral.
no, I'm trying to think of how George Bush talks. I gotta think of it. Hold on.
Yeah.
Uh,
How does he do?
I'm
Yeah.
think Bill Clinton is stuck in my head.
To Bill Clinton, he's the same.
Oh
They're always
no!
bad.
Oh no! He's so smooth with it, and
Like on
I just
Hillary Clinton.
wanna. Hey
Yeah,
there,
it's like,
little lady. You want to come to my
yeah,
office? We
yeah,
can talk about some of your proposals,
yeah.
some of your ideas.
I'll
You want
sign
to
the
you want to
CBD
play with my
contract.
saxophone?
Oh God. But yeah, dude, like, I think that is like, if we can, like, do some sort of comedy bit,
Yeah, I
but
agree.
then do the whole that CBDCs things, like, even just that, like, when CBDCs come in, if you don't say what we like, you ain't gonna be able to feed your family. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, 15 seconds of that kind of thing would teach people about what CBDCs are, how evil they are, what control that the elites can have, and how.
All of a
Uh,
sudden, you can't
and
get the food stamps.
exactly, yeah. Oh, you said something bad about our war. Well, guess you ain't getting corn this week, motherfucker, or something like that.
Yeah.
Oh man, this shit is
Sorry, you
funny.
have to live in the bad neighborhood with all the pedophiles because you couldn't pay your rent because of your goddamn stupid opinion. Now your children are mine. Wouldn't that be horrible? You get fined so often you can't pay rent, and where's the only place you can afford? Oh no, it's some Jeffrey Dahmer ass neighborhood. Oh God.
And maybe like the state says, oh, you want a way out? Then then they say, like, for the next 3 months, we want you writing tweets that are pro Wall Street for the next
Oh,
3 months.
dude,
Then you're getting paid
true.
off,
Dude, some
motherfucker. You get paid
Chinese
off. And then
concentration
also,
camp type
yeah, like
re-education
a
stuff. Oh yeah.
re-education stuff. You pay your debt off by writing pro-capitalist tweets for 3 months
See,
that actually pay off a financial debt.
now we're talking here. Now this sounds like
It's
a cool movie.
Is this far-fetched though? Man, not so sure.
China already has the social credit score, and in order to improve your social credit score, you can do communal deeds or donate blood or speak. I don't know if you can speak favorably on the government and get your credit score bumped for that, but I bet they have the algorithm that does give you credit. You just don't know it.
Yeah. Oh, sure. Yeah.
Dude,
For
everything
sure,
that
for
happens in
sure.
China, do not for a second because there's so many dumb Americans on here that think I'm just shitting on communism or something. Do not think for a second that every bit of technology that is developed in China won't be used in much more insidious and exploitative ways once they reach the West. Right? So we have a credit score, and then China has a social score. Our social credit score, whatever hybrid thing, is going to be much more totalitarian and exactly like this PayPal censorship thing we've been talking about is.
Oh yeah, it'll be so sinister because it's sinister because of its almost imperceptibility. It will become it'll run through the blood of society and you won't even notice it. Like it'll be in the air.
Well, and the people that
it.
point it out, right, like us, will be called the crazy freaks, right? It will be so propagandically imprinted as such perfect brainwash for these people that they're like, no, we love earning CBDC coin for saying nice things about Trump, our fourth fourth time reelected candidate.
Oh, like you've put another spin on that. That's even more fucking sinister. Maybe it's not only will you be what we just talked about there with the accents deducted CBDCs,
you'll be
controlling your
rewarded.
CBDCs because you said something bad.
You earn some Trump token, right?
You said
yes.
You said there like the opposite, and it's even more sinister. You said, "Say nice things about us, and you'll get more CBDC." Right?
Yep.
So I said, "Pay off the debt." Before that was you'll get deducted if you don't say nice things. You're saying now there's a financial incentive to be nice. Oh God!
I don't think it won't start as a CBDC thing, right? It'll start as a party thing. So the Republican candidate will come out with his coin, and the more that you volunteer and contribute to his campaign, right, the more tokens you earn and the more opinions you voice on social media, right, blah 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 blah. And I think it'll start non-financial, right? It won't start as an economic means. It'll start as a, hey, look at me, I'm such a real Republican, I have so many Republic coin, I have so many Republic token. And
it becomes a competition for who's the best Republican.
Exactly. Who can scream the loudest about our party, and we can prove it.
And wow, right, okay. My God.
Whereas in my community, although I want it to be ideologically localized on leftism, I absolutely want to encourage discourse. I don't want sycophants, right? But when you don't have the nonprofit motive behind your project, behind the means, right? Things like what I just described happen where you just reward all the sycophants, right?
Yeah.
Whereas if you're wanting real community, if you're wanting real solidarity and mutual cooperation and assistance, you're going to want that discord. You're going to be hungry for the criticisms, right? Because you should want to know how you're wrong and why you're wrong. But those guys have no intention of ever hearing the dissenting voices, right? So all of their token design will be oriented towards sycophantic worship, idolatry.
Well, I would, yeah. I mean, you can tell me if I'm getting you wrong here, but I would say also that I could see how that sycophantic sort of like echo chamber disruptive force could be created by tokenomics, crypto tokenomics that isn't even profit based. So we did hear. So
I think it is a little because people are invested in the token, right? So when you have skin in the game,
But hold
the
on.
more you
Yeah.
hype it up, right? The more you shill the coin, which
But hold on. Yeah. But hold on. Let me propose. Because if say the GOP or whoever it is, Fox News, whatever, goes, whoever shouts for our causes the loudest gets a token, and really the whole aim of the game is to be the guy or gal holds the most tokens, right? Because the person who does hold the most tokens is the most conservative. Now the tokens don't get you anything. You can't go out and buy bread or whatever, the oil with the tokens. You're just the best conservative, right? So it's almost reputation based rather than profit. So I could see how they could use that even in malicious ways as well. And that would still, the incentive there is to be the biggest and loudest. And it could work. It's working. I could be working on the liberal side as well, right? So
exactly.
how do you crack that nut where you, even if you take profit and financial incentive and all that out of it, it could still be dangerous as hell.
So they still, because their ideology is localized on a profit incentive, right? Everything's a profit incentive. As they wouldn't stop with just a reputation scoreboard counter, right? Everyone within that party would be expecting some sort of economic gain, probably of somehow, like how NFTs have all this speculative value, right? All the GOP coin and Democrat coin, all those kind of things. The Democrat coin would probably raise money for impact projects, right? So maybe if you win the coin, you get to determine which charity that the Democrat Party has selected amongst all of them, right? Yeah. It's their charity, it's their people. So we're still getting that money, but you could choose which direction and which path that money takes to get to us.
To get to my back pocket.
To get to my back pocket, yeah. And then the GOP, right? They're gonna, dude, you'll get tickets to conferences, all those kind of things, and people can sell them off, right? So there will be an economic motive, no matter what. Yeah. When you have the ideology of the profit motive, like literally your life and mentality is just always going to be dominated by it, and the things you design will inevitably incorporate it. You won't be satisfied with a reputation system like you propose, whereas my community would love it.
Well, yeah, okay. So
but not being the loudest. We would come up with more distinctions, right?
Let me propose then what I said in a different world, right? So let's say we get, we're over theorizing here, but let's say we post-capitalist world, right? Blockchain, we bring about a post-capitalist world via blockchain and all the things, right? We're in that world. I could still see, and maybe I'm like, this is deliberately looking way down in the future for, how tokenomics and how partisanship could still operate in that world. And, past the profit motive, you could still have destructive tendencies within certain communities if that was the instance. So what I'm saying is tokenomics can be used for bad, even in a post-capitalist world, if it incentivizes that sort of shit. So part of the education will be to try and build stuff that, we're way off topic here. It's interesting we've dived into this. It's still interesting, but God, I guess to bring it back for listeners, maybe like what we're saying is how, I don't even know how to bring this back, but yeah, I guess like it's the sinisterness of how different groups could incentivize and disincentivize behavior through tokens or reputation or control. And this comes back to PayPal and how they're doing that and how they would do it with CBDCs. Do this and you'll get this. Do this and you'll get this. What we say, do this and you'll get this. We'll give you this. And how that changes human behavior, be it society, global, like local, whatever. And so post-capitalist or not, whatever, there's still that shit to worry about. And the only solution to that is to have decentralized and democratic protocols where you can try not to let those power centers grow within your communities and as much down to the floor democratic power and control as much as possible, so we can nip that in the bud if it ever starts.
Yep. So instead of designing for a sycophantic reputation system, you're designing a very healthy, mature way of reaching
Right.
collective intelligence and recognizing
Yeah.
people's expertise and merit, right? Because if
Mm.
just take the presidency, it's supposed to be the most popular and the most the most qualified person to lead all of us. And how many elections are there where we constantly demonstrate how the way the system is designed does not produce the most qualified person. So when you have decentralized democratic systems for determining those things, and they're different than the stupid electoral college, which is all we've been taught to believe about democratic processes, is, oh, well, no, as long as you can vote every 2 years and every 4 for the relevant candidates to represent you, you have democracy. Where I think once you get into what decentralization means, what you understand what liquid distributive democracy looks like, you come to see how insufficient our current modes of creating consensus are, right? And they will
Totally.
only keep replicating themselves when they create their systems in the future on blockchain. They will completely just copy paste those old outdated modes of designing into the next sphere, the Web3 stage. And we have this opportunity, guys, to stay vigilant, to call out all the scams, to look out for the censorship that is not done right. Because I think, I think there's a lot of conversation to be done on how do you do censorship? What is what qualifies as correct? We don't want this online because it's I think there's a whole nother conversation to be made on we don't like censorship, especially because it's Bezos. It's a centralized authority determining those things. Yeah. But we can come up with better modes of doing it and using blockchain tools.
We do. And we might have to wait to another episode. We broadly talked about that before in Blockchain Freedom episode, where we talked about Lens Protocol. And basically, I think sort of like our guiding lights were as much sort of decentralization as possible, as much education as possible, but without Prime Directive was our guiding principle as well, to not like stamp all over other communities, because that just makes things worse, but also not let certain communities destroy others with their bad ideas for that other community, right? But there's a lot of thought to be done there. But maybe the smaller the communities, the more democratic, more decentralized, the more open to challenge even within those communities, and alliances between, or we don't want to work with you, we want to form alliances with these people because we're not really up with what you're going on over there. There's all sorts of different ways. Really interesting. Well, here, let me ask you this, just to bring this back to PayPal and censorship for the working class now, who are trying to express their views online, their dismay at the state, and PayPal have retracted what they've said, but God knows if they'll bring that back in. 2,500. Do we say get off PayPal, get out of that, get into crypto, look for other ways, because get out now. Take this as a warning sign for what's to come, and don't get charged 2,500 by this bastard company. Get away from it, go somewhere else. What's our practical advice to the working class now?
You're already being charged too much by PayPal comparatively to crypto. So they have middleman fees, they have processing fees, they project all of your information to the government 24/7, right? There's there were a slew of great reasons to already have left PayPal, but I understand this reason kind of makes it you want to cut off all connections, because maybe you're a crypto enthusiast and you have other means of payment than PayPal, but maybe this is the reason you needed for completely cutting off ties and not having a bank account or any sort of money connected with them, right? Because maybe you're not using PayPal. Maybe you just are posting. Maybe you only have a small minority of transactions, right? Because you're a whatever kind of web content creator or worker, right? I can imagine all the ways you would need PayPal and that other people do use it. But this might be the reason you have to tell those people, you know what? I can't use PayPal. Like I don't use it because I'm a little scared of that censorship fee thing. I know they walked it back, but that's just a little too disconcerting for me. There's already the reasons I listed before that you need to be using. Just have your wallet address, right? That's the easiest way to replace your PayPal account immediately, right? Is just create a wallet address and you can start accepting crypto payment. Then we can go on to other ways, right, where you can start more easily for a broader base of people accept payments. But PayPal is not one of those going forward. You shouldn't trust them.
So let me ask you this then, following on from that advice, is getting off PayPal and into crypto for the payment financial side of it enough, or are the lessons here that we want to take advantage of telling anyone who's listening that get off PayPal, but how are they able to track your social media comments? Do we want to advise people to get the heck off Facebook, the heck off Twitter? Because surveillance capitalism, unless you get onto Lens protocol, get onto the decentralized blockchain, protect yourself, anonymize yourself a bit, because we all know that the tentacles, the octopus, the vampire of capitalism, they're all aligned, aren't they? They can see what you're saying. The state knows what's going on, and they will work closely with PayPal or whoever. It's all interlinked. It's all malicious. So you're best just getting off PayPal, getting off Facebook, and look at something, explore things like Lens Protocol and other decentralized blockchain, crypto, social media solutions. Also, that's what I would say. I think it's going to be maybe both here, isn't it?
It is. I mean, that's the ultimate goal, is to move everything to Web3, and then you still have to take those principles, right, of why you left Web 2 into which Web 3 apps you pick, right? Lens Protocol is great, but we need to stay vigilant, right? Because are their companies going to start working with the NSA? Are they worried about the Patriot Act? And who's going to be? It's not a given, right?
No,
that
true.
When you move to blockchain and create a Web3 protocol for your social media, that you are anonymous, that you are non-compliant with the hegemonic empire, surveillance state. That all those things are still a question, but they're only possible right now in Web3. That's the crucial thing.
Yes, that's a good point.
I'm interested to connect with leftists who potentially have non-crypto related ideas of decentralized technological means, of anti-fragile. Like, I want to hear what the other solutions are. I'm just sorry, I don't know where they are. Like, crypto's the only one, and there's a lot of crypto tools. So this is just what I've heard about. I think So you still need to take the ethos of decentralization, of democratic distributed control to the users and to the people that really make these platforms valuable, right? They all these owners of Facebook and Twitter and all those think all of this is theirs, like they're some feudal lord, and we are but mere subjects occupying their property, right? Web3 is the only one experimenting with modes of giving that property and giving ownership to the users. As far as I can't name any Web2 apps that give that kind of,
oh God, no.
Gosh, there's nothing.
No. Yeah. No, not at all. Not a complete antithesis to that. So, but I'm glad you said that, because that is like a running theme through what you're getting across, what we're getting across, like it is not sufficient enough to just bounce over the crypto, bounce over the blockchain from Web 2. We've said that all along. We'll keep saying that, because if you're just taking the lessons from Web 2, or I don't know, we're just going to end up with the same system on Web 3. What we need to do, because the system has to be rebuilt in such a different way. Blockchains don't need the tools to do so. It's not a new system. We have to take those tools and build a new system, and in the way that we want. Okay, so you're right to point that out, man. Like, everyone bouncing over, think about what's wrong with the current system, what needs to be put right in the new system, and take that into crypto, take that into blockchain, but act on it. So yeah, keep saying that.
Yeah,
That's
you gotta
important as
stay
anything
being
else.
active with it, because these are not the ends; they are merely the means of
Right.
us obtaining ownership. Because people kind of erroneously think rights are bestowed upon us when we're born, when that's not true. We work
oh God,
for all of those rights, and we enforce them with each other. And so if you're not enforcing your rights in the web sphere, right, you're just going to be getting taken advantage of. It's as simple as that. So learn how to take control of your data, of your identity, of your sovereignty, of your autonomy. That's what that all is. And learn what Web3 tools are best, make that happen. Because it's not going to be all of them. And some of them will die off because of capitalist interests. And maybe you're the one who needs to fork it, whatever it is.
Yeah.
We need you in this space. I always caveat with, I not like these bored apes, right? Where you're just head diving, refinancing your mortgage, and you're going to retire early. No, this isn't about retiring early because you've figured out a way to exploit the market just enough for you to live comfortably on some island. That's what I kind of have sensed from the Web3 community in the past 3 years, right? This is financial liberation. Yes, it is, but it's economic means of liberation, right? It's still a whole hell of a lot of hard work. And if you notice yourself not doing any hard work, then you're probably the one exploiting all the hard work being done.
And it's also, I think, like a lot of people think financial liberation or economic liberation is individual. As long as I can liberate myself, we're free.
I can pay for whatever I want and need. I won't be that greedy about it, though. Yeah.
Unless and until everyone is economically free, and we only get there by looking after a system that makes everyone free, then we don't have freedom. Well, I can't remember who it was. Maybe it was Martin Luther King that said, "Until everyone's free, no one's free." Can't remember who it was.
I want to go with MLK, but it might be Malcolm X. Someone on the recording is going to be giving us shit.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we deserve it. We should know. It's a pretty good.
It was such a good clippable moment, and now we've ruined it by not giving credit.
Yeah, we should have just ended that with beautiful quote by Malcolm X, and then
just ran with it.
Image of Malcolm X, and then fucked it up. Oh God. Anyway, but democracy is a messy process. You got to build it.
It's the only way to avoid scams.
Take your aggrievement into Web3 and build something healthy and new and
mature and diverse and equitable and egalitarian and inclusive. All the great virtues and values you can design for. You can't really design your LLC that way. You can't really design even your co-op fully like maybe we're envisioning. Right? There's very strict parameters and constraints and frameworks that you have to work with when you're talking about the traditional legal capitalist system. But these are different economic means, brother, and it's the only ones that are going to help us avoid all these scams. Cuz everything, frankly, all of capitalism is a scam. Right? That's what profit is one guy who dictates he's the owner and the property rights holder and authority on the matter. So he's the one who gets to have the legal scam run for him. We're trying to get everyone off of all the scams into crypto.
Do you know what I was thinking the other day? I was walking through Buenos Aires, just like dandering about one place to the other. Was like, it just popped into my head. Like, I'm no genius, but everyone knows this. Like, what's the two most sinister words of the last 4 decades in the English language? Trickle down.
Trickle down these nuts.
Trickle down. Could you think of 2 words that maybe sums up the fucking disaster that we've had? I mean, there's lots of other words, but those 2 words maybe are like, everyone knows what context they're said in. Trickle down economics, but trickle down or trickle down.
Maybe even more insidious is that communism is when government does stuff. Like, that belief has kneecapped the movement, and it kneecapped it for me for so many years, because that's what I thought it was, is just more authoritarianism. Just, we're going to use the electoral and representatives we have, and just the state is going to do more stuff. And that is not at all, when you get into the thick of it, what it's talking about at all. Like, no.
So it's interesting that you led onto that, because where I was going to lead on to next is what could be the 2 words that define the next, hopefully define the next length of history, I guess, rather than setting 3 or 4 decades on it. And that I genuinely believe that these 2 words are something that a lot of people, even the lib right or former ANCAPs or whatever, are getting behind, especially on blockchain. And those 2 words, not to keep you under suspense anymore, is democratic economy.
Yeah, I like it.
Democratic economy, right?
They have no idea how communist and socialist that statement is.
What did you say about communism? I hate that shit.
I hate that. Democratic economy.
I'm behind that, boy. You'll get my vote for that.
So if we ran your oil rig like a democracy, I'm okay, I'm with it, and we gave all of you ownership, so you're all part owners, I like the sound of that, I can own an oil rig, okay, and then we set up these really good democratic processes of decision making for the oil rig, and like where the money you guys make, where it gets distributed to who, right? Like, all right, so I just got to talk with all my oil rig buddies and friends about what we should get paid. Yeah, and the best part, there's no stock owner, there's no corporation or boss not doing shit, taking any of that money from you. I won't even say profit. Money from you. Oh, that sounds real good right there. It's called democratic economy. I can get behind that. Yeah. Look out, Texas. The new
I'm clipping this.
There's a new Democrat in town.
Yeah.
He wants democratic economics using crypto, and he's a Democrat.
Yeah. And I was, if I could add, well, that's clip, that's good. Like, well, that's priceless, that moment. But like, if I can add anything else to into that dynamic that convinces the person you're trying to impersonate, or the Texas ANCAP, it's like what they always hark on about growth and efficiency and all that. So I would just I slip in there. I'd be like, so do you realize that all of y'all together making the decisions, collective intelligence, coming up with the best decision to keep your all business growing, that you all get profits from, you all benefit from, more people, better decision making, more information, bang, use blockchain to help you out, boom, boom, will keep you growing, keep you going, keep you competing, whatever, all those words that they like, or whatever, right? They'll be like, I get it. I can see how that works.
I like the sound of that. That sounds mighty libertarian right there.
We all get in a room, we all debate about it. You mean all me and my brothers in here? We'll have a good old debate.
You all get to do the corporate jobs. Like,
Yeah.
And you're just gonna narrow down the scope of how much that work is done, right? Because there's so many great tools for consensus making,
Right.
and it's only getting
Right.
better, right? Gitcoin is improving Sybil resistance.
So
Crypto
hold on a
communities
minute.
realized, oh, you shouldn't be able to
y'all,
buy votes. Like that was such a capitalist idea that they thought they could run with, and it's panned out immediately horrible.
y'all mean that we don't have to get into an actual corporate room? We just have to log on to the Discord and
Exactly.
press a button
Whatever
and
the
read
hell
a
you
little few
want.
things?
You,
Oh man, that sounds like I can do that in the morning, go out fishing in the afternoon, and arrive home for dinner, play a bit of golf at night. Man, I like that kind of world. Sounds communist, but
that
whatever.
sounds mighty communist. Wait, I don't know if I like the sound of this utopia now. That sounds like Karl Marx shit right there.
Marx, something like that. Yeah, he was saying
No.
fishing in the morning, reading a book in the damn evening.
No. It's democratic economy. Democratic economy.
Yeah. And it was
Just change Karl Marx to like
No.
Karl Markovich. I don't know.
What's Karl Marx's Texas name? Let me come up with it.
Yeah,
It's you know what? It's Karl Marcus. Two first names is so Texan right there. No. It's this other dude, Karl Marcus. No. It's totally different.
Karl Marx.
Totally
I like
different.
a sound. I go a beer down the road right fast.
Oh, yeah.
I'll listen to him.
Bro, what if
We
you
ain't go out
reprinted,
hunting with that
dude? What
fella.
if you reprinted and retitled Das Kapital and all these other works? And you made it Karl Marcus and you gave it all this patriotic imagery in it. Switch around some of the words to make them more conservative friendly. Oh, dude, this is sounding like a really good Onion article or something. Whew.
Do you think if we clip these moments and like we're impersonating the Texas accent and stuff, but do you think we put it out there into the world that the people who were trying to impersonate, and all of this would get offended, or they'd see the funny side? And also, would you think leftists would see us as, guys, you're just being patronizing?
I think the leftists are definitely loving it. I've seen Hasanabi's stream, dude, and they eat it up. Everyone online loves a good negative impersonation of the other. Now, as for showing my fellow Texans, no, if you were able to edit it just perfectly, right, with some of the parts cut out, you could probably make something out of what we said.
Right.
But the impersonations are kind of fine with what I was saying in the beginning, trying to describe the oil rig guy. I think he might be down with that. I mean, dude, the brain rot in programming though is hardcore. So I think we should just do it and then see what the negative responses and reactions are, and then we just kind of we reframe it again, right? So we keep reformulating this same statements of how do we convince a super Republican, libertarian, ANCAP conservative over to seizing his autonomy, right? Because if you keep it on that focus and you kind of lower down the collectivized talk, because they get pretty offended once they start feeling responsible for a collective. Yeah, but you can just keep talking about their participation and how much more valuable all of your labor will be in a collectivist format, right? In a democratic economic format versus we can go into how capitalism is really just the lineage of royalty and monarchy, by a slim margin being decentralized, right? So there was all this wealth controlled by monarchy. Capitalism didn't really give all the wealth to everyone. They just kind of privileged it. So this democratic economy is trying to, in a more sustainable manner, right? In a more, I also really like the podcasting I showed you, Library Socialism. A lot of their imagery, if we can adapt it to an ANCAP, would work so good.
I think we're on to something here. I agree with everything you said there. Reformulate and find what like I think like starting off this process, yeah, there may be a bit more moderation of what's said, what's not. But I think you can be witty, you can be like cloak and dagger about it. Like you maybe don't say the word collectivist, but can you get that
Yep.
idea across by saying
Democratic. I
what do you
think
mean?
you can
What do
always
you
get
mean?
away with that one.
Yeah, take out collect. Yeah, democratic or like even words like together.
Decentralized.
Like what do you mean? What do you mean? We all get together and take out the government and well, the big bosses and and then together is slightly less
Sounds like a tea party.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
It's exactly like a tea party, son. Come on, join. We're throwing fiat into the harbor.
Get more piece of the pie. Yeah, and a bit of tea with the pie. All right.
All right.
But yeah, and also like spin it so that like I think we'd have to maybe reformulate it in a way that we're not, because part of this is us taking the piss out of like George W. Bush stupid, and like but we'd have to spin it in a way where even if we're droll in their accent, and even if we're making them a little bit to be silly or some whatever, we'd still maybe have to spin it in a way that they can end up being smarter than the current system, outsmarting the corporations, outsmarting the government, so that they're placed even higher above could be placed even higher above the.
Hey, if you
spin it in a way
this autonomy of yours, you can be so much more free, brother.
Exactly. And
I think you can kind of do
like
a little bit of a nationalist or localist pride. I don't like national because that always seems to be tangential to racial. Or at least in America, especially, there is no national pride. There is racial pride, and some people delude themselves into thinking it's national. But anyway, I think when you can get them more localized focus, like how much more power and how much more political power and economic, not just economic over your job, that's kind of hard for them to comprehend. I don't know. It's the 50 years of Red Scare that has hurt us so much, right? People don't consider how valuable taking control over your workplace is, but fine, whatever, we'll get to it. I think starting with those local governments, right, where, hey, this town or this HOA or these different communal projects, right, they're all very democratically run, and there's all this amazing blockchain tooling to help facilitate it. Guys, this is the way to go. Democratic economy.
So okay, yeah, I'm gonna have to go soon, dude. But yeah, I just the last part. So but I can see there how I like that. Like even if you go, we can get onto the economy, but can you gateway drug into collective management and ownership via something that they're familiar with, like. What do you mean that we could go down to the gun club and own it and run it, or if we could go down to the I don't know what the fucking pool hall?
They have a little bit too much respect for property owners, you know. Yeah.
What do you mean? All me and my buddies could be in the clubhouse and we're the owners and we run the whole damn thing and we get shit like that. Where they were like, fuck yeah. I mean, why wouldn't we run the golf club? Why wouldn't we run the fucking this, that, or the other? Then you go, well, that's not a far cry from owning your business or your factory, that sort of shit. So
exactly.
I mean, and we don't have any problem with that. I mean, leftists would hardly criticize us for going, the fuck you focusing on fucking conservatives owning and running golf clubs for guys and bigger things.
You got to start with the tangible that isn't the economic at first, because they're so individualist based. They worry that you're going to be coming after their property next. So you have to work your way up to governing property. But there's so many other political governance that they take part in, or actually they don't participate, right? So people don't participate in HOAs. People don't participate in their city council commissions and all of those different things. So if I can do that, where you can found a new town, or you can reform those governance things to be more blockchain tooled, right? Where there's just so much more participation available. I think once they seize on that available political power, they're going to start wanting more of it. They're going to look at, oh, wow, I just was able to take control over what park was designed near my house. I want more decision making on how my job gets done. I think that's the avenue.
I agree. I mean, if you extrapolate this to a broad themed world where people, by getting more engaged, have more power over the decisions that affect their own life, be it directly or, sort of like, if I get involved in this, you mean my fucking bin gets collected because I'm the one determining when and how and all the rest of it. So my bin gets collected. That's good for me. But even the park's good for me indirectly because everyone's managing the park. I'm part of included in that. Basically, if you can convince conservatives, ANCAPs, all the rest of this crew we're talking about, like, if get more involved, more political power, more control, freedom, choice, all the shit that they like, all those buzzwords over your life and political power. Well, you don't like that political power, and then you go, oh, you can have the same for economic power. Oh, what you mean? More for you, more for the community. More for the community means more for you, more, and you can still leave this blockchain community if you don't like the decisions being taken. That's freedom, that's choice, yes, autonomy. So nobody's locking you in. It's your choice. Bang, 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 bang. I mean, I just, in my mind, I haven't seen it yet. How if you suggest that that's the world, that people, still choice, still freedom, but more control and more back for you, be it directly or not, I don't see how these people go, nah, sounds like a bunch of shit to me. I'd rather just now stay out of that crap. I just don't see it. My brain doesn't see it. Maybe I'm being naive, don't know. But I'm seeing it how they would see it, and articulate it in the way that they see it, convince them of using the words that they... Why would they not be like? Why would they turn that down?
Don't you doubt that power of propaganda, bro. Whatever we're saying will get misconstrued. It's true. It's absolutely valid, right? But even when we first introduced the concept to them, they might have gotten some pre-programmed propaganda that immediately refutes it somehow, right? So they might go in with the impression that they might already know you and I are leftists, so they're immediately biased against us. That's an externality, right? But it's nothing we can get rid of. I think before
not easily anyway.
Yeah. Before you can get to the political autonomy, I think you have to do the network communal autonomy. So I think there's all of these communities that we're running online, all of these content creation communities, all of these social media platform communities, all that kind of stuff. What's it look like when you start increasing the amount of levers and mechanisms for your community to contribute and to give consensus and to collectivize the intelligence, right? When it's just as cheap as joining a Discord and watching a stream and listening to a Twitter space, right? Then when I propose the idea to do the same thing and prove these tools, but say, oh, it's for this HOA, or oh, it's for this city council commission, or whatever it is, right? However small and niche it is, I can say I've already proved how much can be run and how much more efficient and effective it is with all this bullshit meme stuff. Like you almost don't I'm stuck on the word. You underestimate the value, right, of just dowing shit, right? Yeah. But once people see it, they act on it, they want to see more on it. So I think the step before the political is the communal, where we have the power of this network, right? We have Web 2 and Web 3 power. Web 2, there's the risk of censorships and the risk of deplatforming, right? So that's why we tangentially grow on Web 3 and try to pull people away from Web 2. And once they start messing around with, I can vote on what topic is at the next Twitter Spaces. I can contribute an article to my favorite streamer and he actually reads it. Like, all these different tiny niche things will unlock their brain, and then they'll start to be able to imagine correctly how it looks in the more tangible political and economic realms.
Yeah,
Because
I
we're
agree.
just in the
I agree.
me-medical. The me-medical.
But that's where it has to start, isn't it? Like it's
Yep.
like
Just starts as a
nobody
little
jumps
brain
into
worm and just a little
nobody
tiny
jumps into
thought in your head, right? So
nobody
banal.
nobody jumps into nobody
Mm-hmm.
jumps into a cold bath like at
Yep.
once. You dip your toes in, you go, oh no, okay, not so cold, and then your whole body adjusts. Do you know what I mean? So it's like,
Yep. Yep.
yeah, and it's going to be like because we're internet
And
culture
it is kind of
and
exactly like that, a cold bath, right? Where people, if they just jumped directly into full
oh yeah,
scale luxury automated communism, right? They would be
right,
overwhelmed with the amount
oh
of
sure,
autonomous decision making there is, right? They would
yeah,
just be, oh yeah, like I said, over in shock from all the coldness, and the coldness not being a negative derogatory on what a collectivized society would be like, right? It's just relative to what we've been experiencing as a society.
exactly,
I thought I was just
exactly,
supposed to go to the same job for 40 hours a week. You're telling me I can go to any job for 40 hours a week? You can tell me I can do whatever work I want and I'll be able to sustain myself because people value me fundamentally as a human and my contributions are valuable whether
yeah.
or not the society immediately profits from it. No, it's just we value all contribution. Dude, yeah.
Maybe a better analogy than dipping your toes into the bath. That's one, but maybe it's just more about
I liked it.
stepping up steps into a warm jacuzzi, but the water itself is alien. So you're taking steps up into an eventual warm bath, but the steps up are scary, and so you have to just do one step at a time. I like that analogy as well because it's the cold bath is like it's cold and you just adjust the cold bath. But this world that what we're selling like isn't cold. It's a warm, nice, hot bath. But for people
It's
who
true.
aren't used to that water, it's gonna be alien to them. So maybe it is
We've
steps up
been
and
in
into a
cold
warm.
water this whole time, just
Right,
freezing with the amount of neglect that we
exactly.
receive in politically and economically. Once we
But
feel
dipping
once
your
we
when you're
just switch to warm water, right? There's actually a thing where your blood pressure rises and you could have
right,
a heart
exactly,
attack. And that's what would
exactly.
happen if we just
Yeah,
transplanted you and just dumped you
exactly.
into a
Right.
steaming hot jacuzzi. It would not be relaxing at all or
No,
beneficial. It would give
you
you a
jump
heart
out as
attack,
well.
which is what
You
these
jump out and
Texans
jump.
around me freaking have every time I bring up the word socialism.
But that analogy for the way you just explained it works perfectly as well. Because you jump into a fucking boiling hot bath, your body's gonna be it's a
Yep,
shock
yep.
as well. Like even when you dip your toes into the jacuzzi water that's like spilling out onto the steps, you touch your cold feet onto a roasting hot water, you're gonna be like, do you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
the analogy works. Do you know what I mean? So step by step. There is a lot of people out there who are like, chuck them in, chuck them in. I just don't think it's practical. It doesn't work, and it's also not.
You're gonna kill a lot
sustainable.
of them.
You're gonna
You
kill a lot
are.
of them. And
They're gonna
maybe
have heart
maybe put
attacks
them off
and
for
die,
good,
bro. Yep.
and maybe put them off for good. Yeah, they'll never come near the jacuzzi again.
Nope. Or
So,
yeah, exactly. They're gonna have that heart attack, get resuscitated, and be like, "Hot water is not for me." Obviously, I can never go back into that hot water. Nope.
yeah,
And it's like,
no,
no, one bad experience, and you're writing off the whole thing just with uncritically too. Oh no.
if anything, if they do, if anything, it'll put us back in time.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of experimentation on what that water should look like as well. So dipping your toes in is good, dude. I have to go.
All right. Yep. We got 2 hours here. You only said
I gotta
one.
go I gotta go and do some work for Deepa.
Alrighty, son.
get my work
You
on.
have fun with that.
This is when you text me going, shit, didn't have the recorder on.
Yeah.
So many
Nope.
good moments in here.
1 hour,
complete. Oh, fuck,
53.
dude.
You got shitloads to go through. Yeah, I'll transfer it to you too, so you can mess with whatever clips you want, and I'll mess with some of my clips. Maybe if whoever starts clipping first, okay, tell the other person. That way I don't clip the exact same thing, or maybe I'll just clip it a little bit differently. That's what we'll do.
So yeah, I agree. And is there a way to plug this into Descript then? So
Yeah, so because
all the info comes out.
I
Yeah,
recorded
right.
this on my mixer, I am going to send you the file because it's recorded on Twitter, right? And you're probably going to want to edit it and adjust the start time and maybe the end time a little
Yes,
bit. That's
correct.
all you can do. I don't think you can really edit out portions,
Right.
right?
No.
No, I don't
Okay.
think. No,
Yeah.
it's
No,
just
I don't
start
think
and
so.
end
No.
time is all you do. So I can give you the file where you can put it in Audacity or put it in Descript is what I would recommend.
Well, the reason why I asked there about Descript is like if we're going through an hour and a half of content, yeah, you can do that. You can do that on Buzzsprout. They have that service where you can just sort of skip quickly to the 30th minute, find out what was being said. But on Descript, it would be even easier if you plug that in. The audio transcribes into words. You scroll up. Oh, it's easier to see where the good moments are, and then you can just go bang, clip that moment.
So what you just said, is it free to upload as much as you want into Buzzsprout first before you publish them and
No,
transcribe or
what you
whatever?
yes, it's you can upload as much as you want.
Because what I was
To
going to
then put,
recommend was maybe you plug this 2-hour segment into Audacity, cut it up a little bit and not efficiently, right? You just want, all right, I'm not going to make any clips of this section. I'm not going to make any, trim off all that dumb fat, because if you upload the whole thing into Descript, right, you're spending all of your transcription time and credits on a bunch of stuff you're going to delete. So why not? So that's just an efficient thing I thought about to more effectively use Descript while you're just using the free version, right? So maybe what you just said is upload it to Buzzsprout, find the moments, make those into small clips, put them into Descript, and start using all the powerful tools with Descript while spending less transcription time. Yeah.
You're right. Yeah, you're right. Because like an hour and a half.
Yeah, you're going to be spending all your free credits on one episode. Like, that's not going to be worth it.
Can't be doing that because they got to upload deepers.
Exactly. Well, you got to talk to her about. She is paying for it, so you should be able to get on her team or something. And tell me how many hours she pays for, because I want to know.
Yeah, I'll do that now. Actually, I'm surprised she didn't give me the login details if that's what she was planning.
You should just ask her, like, "Hey, I'm learning all about this Descript stuff, and I want to have more transcription hours. Do you want to add me to your team?"
Yeah, I will. I'll get off. I'm gonna do that straight now because that's what I'll have to do now. So that's okay, cool. Right, dude. I really do.
Cool.
Well, it was good 2 hours there, wasn't it? So yeah, awesome. Good chat again.
Send me your email again on WhatsApp so I can transfer this.
Will do. Cool. Yeah, and.